Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the lounge. So, I bring this video today. It's my first video of the new year. I don't know if it was an unwarranted break or not, but nevertheless, haven't posted anything in a little bit. But this was a topic that was heavy on my heart, and I figured no time like the present to talk about it in the new year. And I'm not big on New Year's resolutions, the whole New Year, new me kind of thing. I mean, I get to have goals to improve yourself, so not taking away the significance of the saying, but it has turned into a cliche. Let's be real. Let's be honest. But the goal that I want to get back to, if you want to call it a resolution, I think it's more of a goal because I want to bring back self sufficiency, right? And I was kind of always taught that as a young kid. And you heard me reference it before when my mom had me in the kitchen talking about, ain't no woman gonna cook for you kind of thing. But when she said it like that, now looking back, I understood that, a lot of things were to be self sufficient. That was one of the lessons we learned in the kitchen. That's part of the culture, things like that. A lot of lessons were done in the kitchen. And as I grew, as I grew up and went on a journey that I have went, I always had self sufficiency. Like to do things on your own. Don't necessarily take handouts. Don't that kind of thing. Like be be able to pull from bootstraps. What insert whatever phrase you like to insert, but nevertheless, I was always kind of taught to do things on my own. Don't rely on others and work hard. Now, my grandfather also taught me work smart. You have to have the combination of working smarter and harder at the same time. You got to know when to do both because you could work hard and bump your head against the wall, or you could just sit and work smart and not put in the effort to get what you need accomplished. So, as I was doing research for self sufficiency, right, I looked at society. I looked at, and I mean everything. And this morning, because it's morning where I'm at, like, um, I was strolling the YouTube streets, if you will, and all that stuff. And I came across the Uncle Tom movie series, right? Now, before people start biting nails and panicking, do all that goofy. I watched it from a different perspective. So maybe in another video I might cover my thoughts on it, but I watched it on a level of self sufficiency because that's the thought process and I was thinking. So one of the things they talked in the movie was like how the black communities during like prior to the civil rights and how you had a lot of black people who were like doctors, lawyers, engineers, these prominent roles, these prominent positions. And I always thought it was interesting because it's a narrative that's usually not told about. Like, and I'm like, wow, I'm looking at it. And like I said, I was looking at it from a totally different angle today. And I just saw how, despite what people thought, it really was about self-sufficiency. Getting it on your own, figuring out a way. Um, and during a time where, the, certain narratives, like I said, it's not about my own thought as that. I just appreciated the self-sufficiency and the trend that I saw was more that times have changed, that people are less self-sufficient than they used to be. They rely on everything and everybody else, and a lot of people, instead of looking inward, they blame a lot of different things. You know, um, like for me, because I'm really looking inward in my own life, and maybe somebody might hear this, and I, for me, I want to do better financially. And I'm not saying I'm broken, destitute. That's not what I'm getting at. I I want to do what my stepfather would say. Like, I don't want to just survive. I want to live, because there's a difference between surviving and living. Because you can have a job that just has enough money to literally pay your bills, eat, and maybe hang out a little bit, but not really. That's surviving. I wanna live where I can, if I don't want to work and make my money work for me, I want to figure out a way to make my money work for me as I'm like sleeping, or as I'm waking up in the morning, or as I'm talking to you on YouTube. That's what I want to do. I want to be self sufficient, not necessarily rely on a 9 to 5 paycheck if I can help it, because that is one of my goals that I'm trying to do. So that's why through this exploring today and watching that Uncle Tom movie, it just came across as I the positive that I took from. Well, this goes back to what my mom always says too. She says sometimes what she does a lot of times, and I admire that quality about her, and I try to use it for myself. Is I always try to find a positive in any situation that either I can learn from, that definitely I can learn from, benefit from, as making myself a better person, because you could even learn through a lot of negative experience. And so, if we're talking about the civil rights thing, like I said, I'm putting that stuff aside. But from a self sufficient standpoint, the positive out of that was these people made themselves self sufficient, where they didn't necessarily have to rely on somebody. And that's an admirable trait to have. And I say, I want to incorporate that. Because, not saying that you can never ask for help, because that's something even I struggle with. Anybody that knows me, I have to be in dire straits to really ask for something, because I always try to do things for myself, figure it out for myself, and maybe on certain levels, maybe I overdo it, as far as like because there's always extremes in trying to figure out that middle, because there's nothing wrong with asking for help as far as opportunity, because I'm a person, just give me the opportunity, and it's up to me whether I want to shine or don't want to shine, or whatever the case may be. Like, like, if I fail, let the failure be because I squandered the opportunity, versus never getting the opportunity. And part of it too is I want to be in position to build my own opportunity. You know, So that's really one of my biggest goals for the new year, to figure out ways to be self sufficient and level up, and and to be in a financial space where like I want to be in a space where like I wake up in the morning and be like, oh, you know what? I want to buy a boat. Like it's something random, whatever, and to be able to do it without have to be like, well, am I gonna be able to pay the rent? We got to keep these lights on. Like that's what I mean by the freedom. I want to be more financial freedom and be self sufficient within that financial freedom, if you will. Like that's one of my major goals that I want to do. And I guess you could call it a New Year's resolution, but here's the thing about New Year's resolutions and things like that. Having a New Year's resolution, now I'm going to use this as an individual part. New Year's resolutions hurt a lot of people because there's pressure with so much time, right? Like a New Year's resolution is like, well, if I don't do it in 2 weeks, I'm going to give up. Like through cruising the YouTube streets, I learned they say the second Friday in January. I'm going to correct that. Maybe in my next video or something, I'll correct that if I'm wrong, because I just casually heard it. I didn't embed it. But they said the second Friday of the year is usually when people give up on their New Year's resolutions. So I also learned that it takes about 90, was it? I could be wrong. Somebody will correct me. 30 days to build a habit and 90 days for it to become a lifestyle. Somebody will correct me with the numbers. It's early in the morning for me. I'm normally not up early this morning. So, excuse me. But that's what I really want to do. That's what I really want to get at. I do have a lot of topics to cover. I want to grow my YouTube channel. I'm helping people with some of their projects. So that's some of my, like, I hate that word resolution because it's like people expect so much, like when you say it and all that. I just not a fan of that word. I want this year to be a year where I start to put in for my goals, because some goals are good to have a time frame behind it, because then it forces you to buckle down and harness what you got to do. So situation dictates, how we used to say in the military. Situation dictates. So it depends on the situation. But I think something like this is going to take more than a year. It's going to take time to do it, because I'm not looking for some get rich quick or that kind of thing. Because my dad always taught me, never go for the fast money, go for the long money. Like, I just want to make things better for the next generation. But this is the year that I want to start planning and working towards those goals. Like, that's probably more of what I want to accomplish for 2025, to put myself in the right direction to go where I want to go. People, we make these goals, but we rarely ever plan to achieve the goals. Like, we almost have to do like a business plan for our goals, and a lot of us don't do it, and this is where we quit. We go, this is too much. Real life catches up to us. I'm learning even in this journey that, because I talk to people and they think it's awesome that I do this, and some people want to start too, and I tell them, hey, nothing to do but to do it. But how serious are you? Like, and then people will say, and it's true. It's real life does catch up, and you're tired, and but I'm learning that's where you grind harder, if that makes any sense, because of this is one of those things. Like I said, I wanted to do this for a long time. This was a long time goal. So when I turn around and look at it, like I I've said this years ago that I wanted to do something like this and grow and show my personality and talk about my thoughts and be on YouTube. And it's not even for clout chasing and stuff. I just saw how much watching other people has helped me, inspired me, and I wanted to be that next generation regardless of my age. But as far as YouTube age, it's kind of similar to what we say. Like when I say I was raised military, even though I was an adult when I went into the military, so I was raised by my family, but then I was raised by the military. So, you know, so as far as the YouTube spaces, you guess I could say between newborn and toddler. So I'm still learning things. Taking the critiques, whether it hurts my feelings or it doesn't. It's not really about feelings. Like if I really want to do this and be successful, I have to take those criticisms as well. Even though at times it does do a number on me, I'm not gonna tell a lie because I'm human. But my goal is bigger than my feelings, and I think that's the mindset that we have to have. You know, yeah, I'm feeling tired. You know, hey, guess what? I can sleep all day, or I can do something that goes towards your goal. Like a little known fact, what I do sometimes is there's times I shoot videos and don't even release them. I do it to practice. It's almost like the equivalent of speaking in front of a mirror. So I try to look at things and critique and even working on try to edit better. I'm still working, still working on these things like but I still want to be authentic. I don't I mean right now my dream is to have a nice studio where I can do this, like even if it's within my house, have a nice like studio where I can do videos, make my shorts and things of that nature. But I like this part of it where I'm just building because my first video was just shot on an iPhone and some wireless and some the iPhone I can't think of it, the Air Pros. That was my first video sitting in the park. That was my first video. And even my first video, seeing 100 and something views was exciting for my first video. Like I didn't have microphones and the lights, and I'm still building by that. I looking at another piece of equipment, but it's not like expensive, but it's something I'm looking at to level up, and that's the whole point of this journey. It's about the leveling up part, and to make this bigger and better, and you know make some more moves. So I'm not trying to stay on too long because I'm gonna shoot a couple of shorts right after this, but I'm probably gonna build off the self sufficiency topic because it probably can't be covered in one video, and that's what I'm starting to learn with my thought process and how I label everything. That sometimes there's topics that are so in depth that I just can't cover it in one video. So this will probably be more of maybe a series or something like that. I'll think about it. But I just want to put that message out there and to put thought into power, as they would say, to maybe inspire somebody else to look at their situation and use this year to go towards your goal versus trying to say, I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of the year. I mean, unless you do it the fast way, which is not the best way. But, I like the authenticity of what I'm doing, and there's more to come. So with that being said, safe travels if you're on the road. Happy New Year. Love you guys. I'm up to 95 subscribers. Let's make it 100. Click on the like button, share, and subscribe. See you soon.